Welcome to Projects for All. My name is Mike, and today we got the Hercules you guys have been asking me for a long time. We got 15 amps, 10 inches, supposed to be awesome. Let's get it out of the box and let's find out. Model HE77, kickback paw, real basic push stick. Miter gauge. It's about what I expected. Telling you, these fences are starting to look familiar. Standard looking blade guard. Not too shabby looking. All right, let's start on the front of this thing like we always do. We got a power switch. Green is on, red is off. It's got a paddle, which is nice because you can bump this thing with your leg if you need to. This is kind of loose, this lock here. Flips down, there's a hole in the side of it, so you can lock this down if you need to. If you're, say, gonna put it in a school, or if you have an orange cat at home, you can lock this puppy down. This is your blade height adjuster. You got blade down, which is very easy to turn. Blade up, you can hear, like there's a detent inside there to keep it from moving because there is no way to lock this. Blade down is very easy to turn though. It gives me a little bit of concern, but we'll have a look and see if it moves. Maybe it won't move at all. Over on this side, we have our blade tilt scale, which is super easy to read. I like it. Big red pointer, I like it. Adjusting your saw. Just push that down to lock it. However, that is as tight as this will go. It actually has a stop on it. I'll show it to you in more detail. Let's use our pinky. It really does not lock down tight at all. So a little bump and this thing's free. That is full tight. And we're gonna circle back around for this stuff and look at it in a little more detail. You got your adjuster knob for your rack and pinion fence, but you can just grab it, push it back and forth if you want. Here on the right side of the saw, we got a few things going on. We have our attachment points for our kickback pawl and our blade guard here. Easy to install. I scratched up the plastic here before I figured out how this was supposed to go. It makes sense that it would go on the inside there, and there's your kickback paw. It's got a strange pull the plunger style, but it works. That just slides back in there, pull the plunger. It's a little bit fidgety, but they all are. We've got our lever here to lock our fence. It's a little bit small and it's a little bit pushed back, but man, it is positive as all hell. And the fence locks solid with this lever. I mean, it really locks. And it's, I don't want to say it's hard to push in, but it does its job for sure. Included wrench here. Sits in its little space there. It's got an aluminum wing nut. And there's our included wrench. Other than that, it's got this plastic handle that's screwed to the table here to give you a nice place to put your hand when you lift this thing up. On the back, there isn't too much going on. We got the other side of our rack and pinion fence with a nice metal gear. We've got a 2.5 inch dust port, all metal, straight up one piece, molded right in. Very nice. Typical ABS plastic miter gauge. We'll have a look at that in a little more detail in a minute. On the left side, there isn't much going on. You got another nice handle here, and you got a cord keeper. Maybe if I started winding it on the top and went this way, it would not end like that. Feels like a good quality cord. Our table is 24.5 by 21.5. So our fence here has 3 positions. 24.5 is the farthest one. These are 5.5 inches apart. So this one gets you 24.5, but this one will get you all the way to your blade. This one here gets you 5.5 inches away from your blade, but gets you your full rip. They're adjustable just like all of them with an Allen, 4mm Allen to adjust these, and we're gonna have to adjust ours because it's off. The fence here has all plastic on this side, has this groove right here, and that's how you line up your fence on your rail. Fence locks down with these levers. They fit nice and tight, and it's pretty secure. When it's locked down, it is rock solid. I won't know until I edit, but if you're getting a lot of rattling noise in this video, it's this auxiliary fence that's here. You can see the bracket. It clicks in nice and tight, but it's got a lot of play once it's down in there, and it makes a lot of noise, and it's pretty annoying. The fence flips over, 2 positions. Higher position gets you a small auxiliary fence, 1 3/4 wide. The lower position here gets you a support for your material when your fence is stretched all the way out. So we got a small knob for our rack and pinion fence, and this rail is just like all the rest of them, but it's got like high and low friction where you break that friction and it jumps a little and then it's got friction again. The rail itself has like a plastic coating on it. There's the finger smasher right there. Pay attention to what you're doing because there's like no clearance between this knob and this. The pointer here for our scale. The scale is fairly easy to read. I don't have a problem with the scale at all. It's a little small. So try and get you an angle here so you can see what I'm seeing. This is your pointer. It's just clear plastic, and in most cases I'd say it's fine, but if you look at like the detail in it, it's kind of hard to tell. Is that 6? Is that 6? You can't see it with any precision. Like to a 16th you can't see it, and I find it kind of annoying. You can see here it's really cheap plastic, and you get like a weird reflection. In person it's a little bit harder to see. So if you want it to the 16th, you're probably going to have to measure the blade to the fence. I mean, maybe you do that anyway. Is that 7? Or is that 7? Stick is mounted on your fence, which is awesome. It's a little tiny plastic push stick, but it's a push stick and it's right where it ought to be. This is an excellent design. I believe it's borrowed from DeWALT. DeWALT could have borrowed it from somebody else that I'm not aware of, but the 7491 DeWALT that's right next to this toolbox right here has the exact same design, and I love it. Throat plate. It's got a latch, unlock, and it just pulls out of there. This is very heavy, very nice metal. It's got plastic guard on the back for the kickback pawl. 4 adjusting points, 2.5 mil Allen to adjust. There is no Allen key included on this saw anywhere that I can find. Comes with the blade installed, riving knife obviously, and this lever right here flips up and you can adjust your riving knife. It is essentially 2 positions. This lowest position they tell you is for shipping, there for non-through cuts, and the top position for through cuts. This is pretty tall. Locks down with the lever. It is not the smoothest thing, and it's hard to lock, so bring your finger strength. So your Arbor Lock is this little tiny lever right here. Pull this up and find the flat spot on your arbor, and that locks your arbor. So turning it to the left, taking the nut off, it locks pretty solid, but pushing it back, you really got to hold on to this little lever because the blade, the torque from tightening the blade is going to want to push the lever down. Sometimes it locks right, and sometimes it doesn't. There's obviously 2 flat spots. There's the second one. Yeah, see, that time it locked good. But it feels kind of like I'm going to break it. It's got like some mushy give to it. And they don't give you much to hold on to here. I mean, that's not a lot of surface area to hold while you're doing this. We got the nut, and we have a giant washer. This thing's huge. Included blade, legendary performance, 10 inches, 40 tooth. So here's our inner washer. This thing's beefy also. Here's a better look at our Arbor Lock system with its little tiny lever. I mean, at least this is replaceable when you wear this out. This is literally the 3rd time I've taken that blade off of there, and we're already showing some wear on this part. So eyeballing this thing as best I can. I'm gonna say you got a hair under an inch left to your arbor once this giant washer is installed. So that gets eaten up by about 10 mil on the front side. You got a pretty skinny washer. So why can't I tell you if this thing takes a DADO stack or not? Well, the owner's manual is absolute garbage. You get 6 pages of bullshit. Here, you probably get this much useful electrical information, and this freaking owner's manual has no adjustments. There are no calibrations, no adjustments in this, none. And nothing about a DADO stack. This arbor is, man, a tight fit. I don't know if that's good or bad, but the included blade doesn't seem to have any trouble. But as you get down on the arbor, things just don't want to go on. I mean, this is all 5/8, so tell me. 100% I am not telling you this is a good idea or something you should do. I don't think we're going to have enough space for this much DADO. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with that. So 3 chippers in both blades is 5/8. 2 chippers and 2 blades is 1/2 inch. Yeah, so with the included washer, there's no arbor left. I wouldn't just use the nut. I don't think that's a good idea. Skil's DADO arbor combo washer and nut does not fit on this. Yeah, totally different thread pitch. So it's got enough threads. I mean, the nut's all the way on there. Threads are protruding out. I feel like this would be 1/2 inch DADO. You could swing. You're gonna have to figure out some kind of a washer though, because I don't really feel comfortable just putting the nut on here. So I'm gonna say 1/2 inch DADO, you can swing it, but you're gonna have to figure out a washer for this. The arbor on this thing is, man, there's like no give. Oh, come on. There we go, jeez. Yeah, it must be the DADO set. Just look, Milwaukee fine finish blade, no problem. I don't know why this has flat spots half-ass cut into it. So this is 15/16. And it sort of fits here. I assume they cut flat spots in this so you could still tighten your arbor when that little mechanism fails. That's better. So when I hold this thing on the back side here, almost impossible to tighten. Oh, yeah, it kind of wants to grab sometimes. This is complete garbage. So here's our skil worm drive, the 8.5 we did a couple weeks ago, and here is the exact same design. Done by someone with an actual engineering degree, or at very least, someone who gives a crap. This works perfect. And it is the same thing. Same design. Thicker metal, big handle, actually locks into its part. It's got a washer and nut that are a reasonable size, so you can put a DADO stack on this. A small DADO stack, but a DADO stack nonetheless. When you tighten it down, you don't even have to hold that. Pull it out, put pressure on it, tighten it. There you go. Designed right by someone who cares. So always difficult to show. Here's your riving knife. There's your blade. Riving knife is crooked. I think it's actually bent. I think it just curves up that way. Yeah, awesome. No adjustments. No adjustments stated, no adjustment found. Just a plate. Could we shim it? Probably. Am I going to? Not a chance. Master plate, calibrated table saw plate, installed. We're at 0. This is right here the span of 6 inches because of the riving knife and that bracket. I cannot install this the long way. Over the course of 6 inches, we are 16 thousandths off. No calibration, no way to change this per the owner's manual, no information whatsoever. Super awesome. Sadly enough, we're going to call this a calibration. It's got stops. You can go a little past the stop now that that's not on there. And it's a little bit tighter. Maybe we can move this lever over a little bit. All right, well, it's splined. I don't want to lose where I pull it off of, but this little shaft here is splined. Let's move it over. Maybe they just screwed up the spline. It's actually kind of locked. It still has enough range of motion to unlock. Let's move it one more. Even with that moved over 2 splines, it does not take a lot of pressure to release. Let's go 3 splines. That's good. Still releases. All right, so moved over 3 splines, back together. Takes a lot of finger punches now. Is it good? Nah, it's not good. This is still junk. And it still does not lock down tight enough for me. But it's a lot better than it was. Since Harbor Freight forced me to drag this little worm drive out of the corner, let's have a look. There we go. I'm gonna break my finger before this thing releases. This will not come undone by accident. You gotta really... This is designed by somebody who cares. So in the end, we're gonna make one cut. We'll check the sound. We're gonna cut full depth. We'll see how powerful the motor is. Because what if you own this and none of these things are a problem for your saws? We're gonna do one single cut, full depth through treated. What's left of a 4x4, it should go almost exactly full depth. I zip tied the old bevel adjustment, so I know that thing's not gonna move on me. The blade's crooked, the riving knife's crooked, the fence I got reasonably straight. So we hook up the dust collector, let's run one and we'll sound check it and wrap this puppy up. I also clamped it to the table because these feet have nothing that's anti-skid on it, and this thing is like an ice skate on this table. They could have put a little rubber bumper on each of these, but nope. A little bit louder than usual. Actually didn't do too bad, considering how crooked everything is. You get bound up a little bit at the back with the riving knife, but otherwise, not too shabby. It has enough power for sure. This is $400 regular price. Paid $350 on a coupon. You can buy so much better stuff. Shop around. Skil, the red Skil, that's $350. It's been on sale for $300 for like 2 months. It comes with legs. This has no stand. You pay $400 for this. I didn't look and see how much the stand was. $100. Let's go with $100. It's $500. $74.91. $550. It's been that price for like 2 or 3 months. Go buy that. So what are the pros with this? The fence is good. It's parallel. Straight up parallel. It's adjustable. It locks down completely solid. It has no movement if you beat it when it's locked. The lock is small and it's up under the table a little more than I'd like, but the fence is okay. Table's solid. I checked it. It's pretty flat. Everything else No way. No adjustments, no information. I'm gonna say no DADO. 400 bucks. Go buy something else. The little worm drive skill saw, you can get that for, I think, $430. Why would you buy this when that's available? Or the other skill? We've not done a lot of job site size table saws on this channel yet, so I don't have a lot to tell you that we've tested that you should go and buy. So we've done 2 skills. They're both excellent and they're both in this price range. There's zero reason to buy this. There's probably plenty more brands and options that are good. We're just getting started with job site saws, and unfortunately, I was expecting a lot more from this one. So it's a pretty disappointing result with this one. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it helped you, good or bad. Really, these videos are to show you a product so you could make the best decision for you. We win some, we lose some. This one, I hope this helped. If it did, consider hitting like on this video. Consider hitting subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next video.